All right, y'all. Before we dive in, a quick heads up.
This show is raw, real, and definitely not rated PG.
We're talking about adult themes, sexual content, and the kind of stuff you probably don't want blasting through your speakers at work or around your kids.
So grab some headphones, pour your drink of choice, and get comfy.
Oh, and just so we're clear, we are not licensed therapists, counselors, or sex coaches. Sex coaches,
Sex coaches.
not sex couches.
We're just a couple of people sharing our lives, experiences, and sexy adventures. An ethical non-monogamy. So with that, pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Monogamy. I'm Adam.
And I'm Pris.
And today we're talking about something real that happened in our house this week. And before anybody panics, we're not airing family drama, not here, but it did spark a conversation that honestly needs to be had.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where parenting, relationships, ethics, and modern dating culture all slammed into each other at once.
Ugh, it's so stressful. Our kids know we're ethically non-monogamous. They know about the podcast, obviously. They understand that relationships can look different, but what happened this week reminded us that just understanding non-monogamy really doesn't make you understand ethics.
And that applies whether you're monogamous, open, swinging, poly, whatever label you use.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the younger generations, social media, cheating versus ethical openness, emotional maturity, jealousy, and why honesty is the actual foundation, not relationship structure.
And if you're new here, welcome. This show is about real conversations around ethical non-monogamy, swinging, relationships, communication, and navigating the lifestyle without the BS.
So make sure you follow the show wherever you're listening, especially on Spotify. Leave us a review because it helps more people find real conversations like this, and check out everything we've got going on at beyond-monogamy.com.
All right, let's get into this.
Yes.
Let's
Let's
do
get into
this.
this. So without getting into personal details, something happened recently where a younger couple, I'm not going to say any names, was dealing with cheating. But it wasn't the traditional cheating story.
Yeah, because technically, they had already talked about the possibility of opening up the relationship.
Right. But the difference came down to emotional maturity and ethics, which I feel like ethics really has to be underlined, highlighted, put an asterisk next to it, whatever you got to do,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So let's get into this. I want to start by saying, the younger generations understand non-monogamy, but they're not always responsible for it. Like they
Yeah.
don't have the responsibility for it. Like they're still learning to be adults.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a little harder for them because of social media. So, and I mean, not harder, but things can be found out faster. So, back in the day, like when we were younger,
Mhm.
we could have, I had several boyfriends in several schools.
Yeah.
Like I went to one high school, but I had a boyfriend in another high school.
Right.
And I had another boyfriend in another high school.
Yeah.
Did they ever find out? Of course they did. It's a small city.
Right.
And so stuff like that, like being uh, cheating was easier, I think.
Cheating was easier.
Yeah.
I remember also, I used to get into a lot of fights in high school, and all of them were about girls.
Yeah.
And most of the time it was because I was dating a girl who was cheating on her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I would date girls that didn't go to the school that I went to.
Did
just
you
because
know
it was
they were
easier.
cheating?
No.
Okay, so my boyfriends didn't know that I was cheating on them.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us guys didn't know that
Yeah.
these girls were cheating. I got caught in these situations a few different times.
Got at the
in high
mall,
school.
man, holding hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is my cousin. I mean,
Jesus.
I did. And I don't know. So it was just a little easier for us. But I liked having several different
Options?
options. Like I liked that. Like that was fun for me.
Yeah.
I wish I would have thrown a girl in there too. But-
Well, that and so that's another part of this, because when we were growing up, there was a lot of stigma to obviously dating around.
yeah.
Like even when I was young, my parents expected me to find a girlfriend and just stay with her.
Yeah.
They didn't say, "Hey, date around." Like
Yeah.
we've told our kids before, "Date around. You don't have to take anything
Yeah.
seriously. You're in high school."
And
You
and
know?
they are not.
They're they
They are
don't
totally monogamous children.
they don't
And
listen
I
at
I
all.
think that actually, if you really, like, delve into it, that really comes because they come from divorced families.
You think?
I do.
Hmm.
Because it was so hard for me to become non-monogamous with you because I did not come from a broken family. I came from a very good parental that were married for what, 40.
Hey, I did too, pal.
You did too, but you had cheating.
Yeah, it was very
I
obvious
did not have
cheating.
any
Go
cheating. My mom kicked my dad's ass.
for as long as I could remember, I think from middle school on up,
Yeah.
we just kinda knew that he was
Yeah.
cheating.
So you had that.
It was out in the open that they would get mad at each other about it. My mom was very clear on her
No.
accusations.
My dad was scared of my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. So I think that's why it's so hard for some of our kids to maybe our younger ones might
Mhm.
be more open to it at some point, but our older ones came from divorced parents. And I think that really has something to do with them wanting to have just a monogamous relationship.
I think that's interesting because they've straight up told us that all of their friends in high school, like, they all know about non-monogamy, like, it's
Yeah.
openly discussed.
Yeah.
E&M language is way more normalized now than when it was when we were
Oh,
growing
for
up.
sure. I mean,
Um,
there was a lot of slut shaming.
there was a lot of slut
Like,
shaming.
there wasn't any slut shaming for boys, but for women, like, for girls, oh my god, I was called and that's because I didn't even sound.
For boys, it was virgin shaming. So this
Like,
is
if you
the
didn't lose it.
Yeah, like, so this is the way it works in high school, or at least back when we were kids,
Yeah.
was that if you were a girl, you would get slut shamed, even if it wasn't true.
Y
They would suspect that you were friends with
like,
different boys or
slutty, like,
whatever. It's like, "Oh, she's sleeping with all of them. How dare she?"
y
For guys, it's
if you didn't
"Y
do it.
you're still a virgin. You can't even seal the deal with this or that," It's very locker room talk,
Yeah.
which is it's ex it's expected because it's a low emotional maturity of kids who are in high school, right? You don't expect them to have a high emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that locker room talk is so disappointing when you get older and you hit your late 30s, your 40s, and you're
And
talking
they're
to
still
people
doing it.
or even their
Oh my
50s.
god, we know people in their
Like,
50s and
we've talked to
60s,
people who are older who should have emotional maturity,
and they don't.
and it's locker room talk
Yeah.
all over again. It's like, "Oh, man, I'm gonna bang this girl, and I'm gonna bang that girl, and I did this, and I did that." I'm like, "Bro,
And I bet you were never part of that. You don't seem like a guy that was.
I've always been respectful. I never
Yeah.
felt like kissing and telling was real respectful."
Yeah.
I think there's ways to tell stories without bringing to light who you're talking about and things like that.
Yeah.
Obviously there's different stories, different experiences that we've
Yeah.
had that we like to talk about, but we're not going to throw people under the bus and say, "Oh yeah, that so and so, that's who it was."
Yeah.
I have always felt people deserve more respect than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of slut shaming from guys.
Yeah.
Like, guys would be like, "Oh, you're a slut." I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not actually. I
Jeez.
don't sleep around."
Well, I think when it comes from guys, it's more of a jealousy
It
thing
is
because they wish that
definitely,
you were the slut
definitely.
sleeping with them.
Now I know that. Now being older, I understand that. But, we didn't have things like
It's like reverse psychology.
yeah, we didn't have, like, social media and stuff like that. I think it's harder now because of social media.
Social media provides that instant gratification.
Yeah.
They can talk to people instantly
Yeah, you can
who
make
are all over
different
the place.
connections.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think I've always said it, social media it breaks up relationships. Now, is it really social media that's breaking up the relationships? No. It's
That's what I'm saying.
whoever's got a roaming eye, whoever's got
Yeah.
issues in their relationship, that's what's breaking up the relationship. But I feel like social media is definitely a catalyst to provide what's needed
Yes,
to make it happen.
because I remember the first time I cheated on my first husband
Oh, yeah?
was with somebody I talked to on a chat room,
Ah, those stinking chat rooms.
and I remember thinking, "Wow, this is like he's never going to find out." Like,
Because it's on the
this was
online.
on the online,
Yeah,
and it was super easy, like, super easy.
really.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't even think he ever found out.
I just, I feel like, and we talk about this all the time because we come from closer minded generations.
Yes.
But these generations, from our oldest daughter to our younger kids who are in high school now, they normalize these conversations. And I
Yes.
remember talking to our youngest kid one time because he was like, they all know about the podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm like, look, man, I said, I know that we're all over social media and this and that, but all of our stuff is for people who are 18 years and older. So if your friends are seeing our stuff, then it's because they sh- they shouldn't be,
yeah.
they shouldn't be representing themselves as 18 and older. But I really don't know how to prevent this because we have a podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, I really hope that you guys don't get picked on or if you're given a hard time about it. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, dude, like our friends think it's cool.
Yeah.
That you guys are non-monogamous because they all know about it in high school. They all know about non-monogamy and its different factions.
Mhm.
They may not know the details of it, but they have an idea of what it is
Mhm.
because it's so normalized to talk about it. And then he's like, and everybody thinks it's really cool that you guys have a successful podcast.
I
And I'm
mean,
like, oh, well, thanks.
I do think it's making them a little more mature. They're having
When it comes to relationships.
yeah, it's for relationships, they're really coming to terms with it a little better and seeing it from different aspects now because of social media.
Yeah, yeah. So they know the vocabulary, they know the
Yeah.
vernacular, they know the ideas behind it. But knowing the vocabulary doesn't mean you know how to live the values. I mean, that
Yes.
doesn't give you the emotional maturity to be able to pull it off. Some of
Yes.
them do have it,
Yeah.
but some of them don't. And
Yeah.
really, I mean, just the same as newbies who come in who are older and maybe they haven't reached that emotional maturity yet.
Yeah.
They think it's a free for all.
Yeah.
It's a fuck fest.
Yeah.
Let's get out there. Let
Oh,
me
for
see who I
sure.
can get with. Let me do this. Let me do that. Hell, when we became poly, I felt like I had to get as many girlfriends as I could. And the
Yeah.
fact that I couldn't even get one, I felt like a failure. That in and of itself is the wrong mentality of
Yeah.
thinking.
No, for sure.
And it takes emotional maturity for
And
that.
I we were somebody said something. I think maybe you were on live or something, and they said, "I don't think younger people should be in the lifestyle because they don't really know the the difference, or they go in there with too much of a big head or something." Dude, that's for everybody
That really is. That's
that's
not
not
an
even
age
like
thing.
that's not an age thing because I know older people who go into the lifestyle who, like Adam just said, are like, "Ooh, are we here to fuck?" And it's like, "Nah, dude, we're not.
I mean, you've
Calm
had
down."
40-year-old men look at
Oh,
your pictures and go, "Hey, nice cans."
yeah, it's
It's
like,
like,
really?
"Really?"
So that's why I think age, it's not really an issue. It's how you understand it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
understanding the vocabulary, how it's all the
Yeah.
communication, like everything.
And I've met some
And
younger people who
I've
have been
yes.
emotionally mature enough
Yeah.
to handle this sort
We
of thing.
know.
We do.
We know a handful of younger people that understand every single little thing, and, of course, they understand it in their own way, but still, it's the maturity level is definitely there,
You
so
know,
it's
I'll
not an
I'll
age
even I'll
thing.
take it to another level, actually. So, oftentimes, these people that we know, they know, but they also know that they don't know everything,
Mhm.
and they question a lot, and
Yes.
they contact us a lot, and
Yes.
they're like, "Hey, so I'm feeling like this. I mean, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Like, what would you do to handle this?" And it's
Mhm.
like, you're you're in your 20s and you're asking these questions that are very philosophical. They're very
Yeah.
into self-realization. And I think that's friggin'
I think that's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
I really think that there are more younger folk now who have the emotional intelligence, the emotional maturity to be able to do it. Of course, there are still a lot of people who don't.
yeah. Yeah.
The real issue in this situation, it wasn't non-monogamy; it was more secrecy
Yeah. Yeah.
for what happened here, because in this situation, when it was talked about, you know, it was being discussed in front of me. and I was expected to have some advice. And of course, I have lots of questions.
Mhm.
And one of my questions when I found out the situation, because essentially the situation was he was talking to several other women
Mhm.
on Instagram without his girlfriend knowing. And this has been going on for a long time. It went on for so long that he felt like he was in too deep and he couldn't get out of it. He was
Mhm.
just involved in these different online relationships with people who were not local.
Mhm.
They were out of town. So because of that, his rationale was it didn't feel real.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a relationship with Chat GPT.
And we both have had these
Yeah.
situations. Like,
Yeah.
no one is perfect in relationships, and Adam has had this happen.
Totally.
I have had this happen.
Yeah.
So we have been in these same situations where we're in too deep, and oh shit, if my partner finds out,
Yeah. And
crap.
and
So
we
we could really relate.
yeah, and I get it, reaching that point where it's like, man, I really want to tell her about
But
this so that
how?
I can get it off my chest, but
Yeah.
so much time has passed. It's almost like if I do, she's going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's going to be bad. But I think eventually it's going to get found out.
Yeah.
And the longer you take,
I remember I remember when it happened to us.
oh yeah, I remember that
And
too.
I remember telling you telling you, "Hey, you've got you can't do this. Like this is not okay."
Yeah.
And I remember your relief.
Oh, it was like a
You said, "I'm so glad that you found out because I didn't know how to tell you,
yeah,
what to say,
yeah,
how to stop it." And I understood that.
yeah. And I'm glad that
I understood that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that you brought that up because I feel like it's pivotal in talking about because people honestly, they hear our podcasts, they see our content, they think that we do no wrong. No,
Yeah.
we are a real
No,
couple
we're a real
and we've
couple.
experienced real things. And yeah,
Mhm.
I did some boneheaded stuff just to get into it. We were very clearly in the lifestyle, but we were still early
Kind
on,
of in very
few years in.
beginning, right?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
few years in. We still didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was still very excited about getting experiences.
Yeah.
And to me, I've always been as Pris has said, I've always been 6 steps ahead on the
Yes.
non-monogamy level,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to get experiences in, and there was this girl who was a friend of a friend's who reached out to me via Messenger, and we started talking, and she had expressed interest in, setting up a threesome, like, this is a kind of a thing, but it went from interest in setting up a threesome to just being interested in me.
Mhm.
Like, it just kind of curved that way at
Mhm.
some point. Those
Well,
conversations
and
made
you
it that
have
way.
yeah, I wasn't in the conversations, it was
No,
just
you
you.
were not.
Yeah.
It was just us.
Yeah.
And so initially when it started, it was under the auspices of setting up something fun. And then as the conversations went on, it got more one-on-one and personal. And, I had horny brain a lot of times in these
Mhm.
conversations. So when you have an attractive woman who's telling you stuff like this, it's like, yeah, you're in the moment. You're not thinking about anything else but your libido and how you're feeling right then and there.
Mhm.
And it has nothing to do with anybody else. And as time went on, I realized, shit, I'm in too deep, and I don't know how I'm going to tell my wife that this is happening. I was carrying it around, and I remember very specifically because I used to work in the construction industry, and I remember going to work every day and just carrying this around and just feeling like it was weighing me down,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it. And I didn't know how to communicate with you about it, and we didn't have the greatest communication at that point.
No.
Um,
No.
so then, almost similar to what happened
I
in this
I was
situation,
at work.
yeah, you just so happened to
Get some kind of weird feeling.
weird
I
feeling, yeah.
got on work. I was at work and I was like, "Hmm, I'm gonna log on to Adam's Facebook." I have no idea why. We were not that kind of couple.
No,
We never hit anything. So it was just it's a gut feeling. I logged on and I saw this conversation and I s-
you
pictures
had
and I
pictures,
don't
yeah.
even remember like what the conversation was. I just remember seeing like pictures and being like, no. And I remember
Oh, man.
texting
Mid-work,
or
mid-work.
calling you mid work and telling you, hey, I just saw this and you need to stop like right now. You need to end it. And you said, okay. And then you hung up with me. And then I called a friend, the mutual friend, and I said, "You need to call this girl who's your friend because she's been talking to Adam." And he's like, "I knew it. I knew she was a bad person like that." And I remember messaging her and being like, "So you don't know me, but I will go to Houston and I will go and take care of this if you don't take care of it yourself. Like, you need to end this conversation with my husband." And I remember telling him too, I'm like, "Look, I'll go over there and take care of it, but out of respect, I just want you to make sure that, you handle it." And I don't
Yeah.
know what you did, but
So in that situation,
like, I don't remember.
oh, I ended it. Like,
Yeah.
I pretty much told her, I was like, "Look, we can't talk anymore. I'm sorry, but this
Yeah.
should have never happened, and I'm going to end this right now." I was just very
Yeah.
short and clear about it. She knew, and then I blocked her
Yeah.
because I just didn't wanna have
Yeah.
any opportunities of it coming back. But I remember the initial moment that you found out, I was like, "I just lost the best thing that ever happened to me."
Mhm.
Like, I was so worried about I just lost the best thing that ever happened to me.
You were so scared when you
I
got
was,
home.
I was. Because I was, like, disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
In situations like that, I know guys who get busted cheating and they get pissed off at their spouse who found out, who's
Yeah.
upset, and I always see that, I'm like, "How are you gonna get upset? You're the one that fucked up."
Yeah.
You should really have your tail between your legs. Like,
Yeah.
that's my reaction to all of this. It's
Yeah.
like, you have no right to be upset.
Mhm.
You're the one who's been carrying this on. Now, I also thought in that moment, and we had conversations at that moment about it, and you were like, "Is this what you want? Do you not want to be with me?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I want to be with you. Like, this is our life
Yeah.
together. Like, I don't want to lose
And you're
this."
like, "Well, I thought we were doing this, whatever." And that's, that was a time that we started one of our rules,
Yeah.
which was all of us are in the
Group
conversation.
group
Group
chats. Group
chats. Yeah.
chats.
But yeah, I remember
Um,
you being really scared and
And so I said, I will agree to whatever you feel
yeah.
is the proper fix for this. You
Yeah.
want me to, I remember telling you, you want to have all the passwords to my phone? You want my phone? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever I have to do to make this right, I will make it right.
Mhm.
Uh, and so when this whole situation happened this past week, I found those same questions coming out and being asked.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, do you not want to be in this relationship with her? And he was like, I think she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't want to lose this relationship.
Mhm.
Okay, so why did you do this? I don't know. Were you getting something from them that you don't get from her?
Same questions. Like,
No, no. And his answers were the same.
yeah.
And I couldn't get mad about that because
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. Your answers are the same. You have
Yeah.
no idea why you did this.
Yeah.
You just did this. And
Yeah.
when you did, you couldn't get out of it. You didn't know how to get out of it. So you just kept on. And I think that the reason why I wanted to talk about this because I think that this is really relatable. I think that this happens way more than people care to admit.
Oh,
People
yeah.
don't talk about this
Yeah.
openly enough.
No.
And that's why I said it's important for you guys to know that we had this.
We
It happens.
I mean, people, we're human.
Yeah.
We're human. We want things and you have to be mature enough to have that conversation. And if you can't have that conversation, then it's going to go a different way. It's
Yeah.
going to become something very unethical, something that you can't get out of. And yeah, it's hard to the fear of losing your partner is
Over something stupid.
over something stupid.
Over something
Yeah.
stupid.
And it
Uh,
happens. I mean, it
it does.
happens.
It really
And it
does.
really takes on how you handle the conversation. In this situation, she's very mature,
Yeah.
very mature for her age. She's very intelligent. And so she saw the broader picture of it, as did I. I mean, I think I grew from all your stupid mistakes.
Well, I think we both grew from all my stupid
But I mean,
mistakes.
me
I
because
and I'll admit it,
because
I have no problem wearing that as a badge. I did some stupid stuff
yeah.
early on, and
And I
that's
think
why I talk about it now.
and I grew from it because I remember when that happened to us, we were early on
Mhm.
and I was like my thought was like, okay, I mean, shit, you already told him, he already admitted to it. He's not lying. I thought you were going to react the other way, right? I
Yeah.
thought you were going to react like every guy does is like, well, why the fuck are you going through my shit? Why don't you give me that why are you going through it? Like,
No,
who do
it
you
was a
have?
relief.
It was
It was a
it really
relief.
was, and
Once it's like you let me out of the
yeah,
cage, you
and
know?
I was like, "Okay, did it hurt? Of course it hurt.
Yeah,
Of course it hurt." When you see words being said to other people that you and only your part, I mean, it's painful,
yeah,
but I remember getting over it and being like, "All right, well, we're gonna have to move on from this. We're gonna stay together. Let's just
yeah,
figure this out." And we did.
we
And
did.
that's probably one of the times where we didn't. We kind of stepped away from the
We
lifestyle
took a
for a
little
little
break.
bit,
Yeah.
focused on each other. Adam is Adam will he hates hurting my feelings any way that he hurts my feelings.
Oh, man. It's
And
the
our
worst.
rule is somebody has to apologize. Somebody has to be the bigger person.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and you just gotta move on from it because you can't stay mad about it, right?
No, and I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna be I mean, in my past, I would have been like, "Oh, okay, so what? You're gonna do it again.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
gonna keep doing it."
You made it real clear. You were like, "Look, I don't wanna not trust you.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
I'm gonna trust the fact that you said you're gonna fix this,
And you're never
and
gonna do
you're
it
never
again.
gonna do it again."
Yeah.
And that's I make it a point to, yeah, I'm a
Mhm.
human. I'm gonna make
Yeah,
a mistake, but I'm gonna learn from that
yeah.
mistake, and I'm never gonna do that
Mhm.
again. And especially considering that if I did that mistake again, it would hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I don't like hurting
And
you.
he let me heal in my own way. I would get his phone, I would look through things
Yeah,
just because I wanted to be okay with it. We do it heal different ways,
yeah,
right? You gotta fix it
yeah.
different ways, and that was one of mine.
And, one of her things was, "Okay, from now on, only group chats, no separate chats."
Yeah,
And I said, although I don't like that, I agreed to it because
yeah.
it's like, well, this is one of the stipulations. Now, at
Mhm.
some point,
Some
things
point.
got better.
Mhm.
She understood he's not gonna do this again.
Yeah.
I can trust him. And, frankly, she's always had access to my phone.
Mhm.
She has access to all my social medias. And knowing that full well always keeps me in check anyways, because when I'm having conversations with people, I know that if I'm gonna put something out that maybe feels a little inappropriate, if Pris is gonna read it and I could get in trouble for it, then I'm not gonna send that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it helps keep me in
Yeah.
check. So I like that. A lot of good came out of it.
It did.
And I feel like in this situation that happened this weekend, I think a lot of good is gonna come out of it too.
I do too.
He seemed to be pretty relieved
Mhm.
once they started working on each other. They started realizing, "Okay, we need to fix this."
It's
But
maturity.
it is,
It's definitely maturity.
there's a big difference between cheating and exploring ethically non-monogamy.
Mhm.
And they had talked about exploring ethically non-monogamy, but he didn't agree to it. One, because he feels jealousy,
Mhm.
and two, because he was already cheating.
Mhm.
And she didn't know that when they had talked about it at the time. Now, why was he cheating? Most likely because of insecurities.
Mhm.
Most of the time that we cheat, it's either because we're not getting what we need from the relationship that we
That's
have,
that's why I cheated.
or because of our own personal insecurities.
Mhm.
Um, when I was getting attention from this other woman, it wasn't because I wasn't getting it from you.
Right.
It was just because I was very insecure about myself, and throughout my whole life, I didn't really get much attention from women.
Mhm.
So it felt really good.
Mhm.
And considering we were in the lifestyle, I felt like that was the green light. Like I could do it. Like it
Mhm.
justified it.
Yeah.
But had I talked to you about it openly beforehand, you probably would have made it real clear it wasn't justified,
Yeah.
and that just
Yeah.
made it easier to not talk to you about
Yeah.
it. And so that's what made it a left turn into cheating instead of a right turn into ethical exploration. It all comes down to secrecy. It all comes down to, I am gonna keep this from you. I'm gonna tell a story about my day, or I'm gonna tell a story about this or that. I'm gonna leave that part out
Yeah.
because I feel like we're gonna have a good day if I
Yeah.
do, you
I mean,
know?
people, y'all are gonna laugh. We've been together for 15 years. I will still ask
Oh, yeah.
almost every day,
Almost every day.
"Who'd you talk to? Did you talk to anybody new?"
Yeah.
Now, we do have this thing where if it's not important, it's not important. If it doesn't it's not anything, it's not somebody he wants to play with. Or I know my husband, and when he says certain words, like he talked to somebody and, yeah, we have a good connection. Then I know, okay, I have to step in. And this is just something that we have. Like, I have to be like, okay, let me see what y'all are talking about. Can I just like read
And you
it?
don't even ask to read it.
I don't.
Oh,
I just ask you like, what do you mean? Or, and then I'll be like, okay, let me see the conversation, which is very rare. I try to give him as much
autonomy.
trust. Yeah, because,
Because I don't like to be treated like a
he
child.
doesn't like to be treated like a child.
What I've really asked for and what I've vied for in this relationship is just 100% your trust.
Yeah.
And I always said, if you could just give me your trust 100%,
Yeah.
I will not violate that.
Yeah.
And I stay true to that. Now, is there any way for you to know that? Well, the only way that you could know that is if you go through my socials and through my
And
phone and
start
stuff like that.
looking through it,
And you
right?
know what? I'm cool with that. You can do that whenever you want. I'm
And
not going to get mad about it.
but conversations and being transparent.
It was going to set you off or anything like that. There was a couple different reasons. Like sometimes if somebody contacts me and I know, like maybe they're flirting with me or whatever, and I know it's not going to go anywhere, maybe I'm not interested, or I
Right.
just know it's not going to go anywhere,
Yeah.
I won't tell you about it
Yeah.
because I know it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
This is kind of pointless. And I get a lot of that. But if I get messages and I really like where it's going and
Yeah.
there's an interest there, then I'll let you know, oh yeah, I was talking to so and so today or whatever, and I'll let you know that. So I've gotten better, but there's still some transparency issues on that. I've talked to you about that and you understood that part.
Yeah.
But especially like I think here recently, I was telling you about some situations that I had about somebody getting a little too close
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. That is not something I would have normally talked to you about.
Mm-mm.
Even though I handled it, I took care of it.
Mhm.
I still, in conversation, brought it up to you because I felt like you should know.
Yeah.
And I remember you looking at me. This was just last week,
It was l it
and you looked at me and you
homies,
were
let
like,
me tell
"Oh
you
my
that this was
god."
on our way to our Valentine dinner. This man, we're on the freeway, and he says, "Hey, so yeah, there was this person, and she messaged me and asked if, what did she say? Could we?"
There was a lot to
It
it,
was a
but
lot to it, but
initially
pretty much,
she was trying to spurn on a different dynamic than one that was more romantic, one that was a bit needier, and I just it was making me feel uncomfortable.
mhm,
And the moment I start feeling uncomfortable, I don't like talking to somebody when I start
yeah,
feeling uncomfortable. So I had to unfortunately hurt some feelings. And I had to basically put it, I was very direct with it because I didn't want it to
yeah,
get misconstrued in any way. I wanted it to be very clear. And so I wasn't mean about it, but I was also very direct with it. And I basically let them know, look, I'm not feeling comfortable with this. I don't really care for this. This is not the dynamic that I have.
yeah.
And it did not go well.
But now this is a new perspective for you, because previous you wouldn't have even seen those signals,
Those flags.
those
I
flags.
would have been uncomfortable, but I would have still continued because I don't like to hurt feelings.
Yeah. And
I
again, we've been in this for 15 years.
Yeah.
This man is still learning.
I am
Like,
still learning. And
there's
nobody stops learning.
yeah.
We all continue to try and get better. We're all continuing to learn.
And conversations can go one way or another. What you say to somebody, which we learned, which what you say to somebody, they can take a different
Yeah, I
way.
can get misconstrued.
And so we know we've learned that. We have gone through so many different aspects of the
I
lifestyle,
always
and
say ups and downs, but I feel
and
like that has a negative
no, like, this is
connotation.
just different variations of the
Yeah.
lifestyle, and we are still learning to have those transparent conversations. Now, I am not really a chatter. I don't really talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, if you get me in a conversation, dude, you're lucky.
Yeah,
Like,
if you
and
can
so
catch her if you can catch her
yeah,
attention and you actually get her to converse with any kind of regularity,
yeah.
you are doing incredibly well.
And he likes that. So he loves to know that I'm having conversations and, doing whatever fun, and then telling him about, or like,
It's a part of my kink.
yeah, or not even telling him until after it's
Yeah, like
the
at the end of the night, you
yeah.
showing me the conversation,
So
and it's kinda hot,
different things for different people. But yeah, you just gotta be really transparent on what you're doing. Don't be scared.
Well, and for some time there, and this was a part of my reason for not being as open was because you made it real clear you didn't wanna know certain things. You didn't want things
Yes,
shared with you. And so that kind of muddied the waters in
it
and of
did.
itself because I didn't know what I could share and what I couldn't share. And there
Yes.
were times where I was real excited about something and I wanted to tell you about it. And you were like, yeah, all of a sudden I tell you and your attitude would change
Oh,
and
yeah.
you would be upset. And I'm like,
I
I
had
thought we were being open with
super
each other.
insecurities.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was an insecure woman, jealous. I mean, I'm still that way, but I talk about it now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I am a jealous person, and I am a very controlling person when it comes to my relationship, very territorial.
Yeah.
But my husband knows that.
I do.
We talk about things, and I'm an adult. I'm grown up now that I don't need to know every single little thing. That's just the way it is. Like, it is.
And I am really, really trying. Yeah, I mean, you're my best friend, so I want to tell you everything that I
Yeah.
can, but also, it's how is she gonna react? And I've had moments where I've sat back and I'm like, sometimes it takes me a couple days
Oh,
to figure out
yeah.
how I'm gonna tell you something.
Especially
And
my
you can
mood.
always tell
Yeah.
when I'm holding something
Yeah.
in. You
I
can always tell
yeah.
because you come up to me and you're like, "You okay?
Yeah.
Everything fine? You're
Well, what
acting
do
a
you
little
think? What's
different.
going on in that
What's
bald
happening
head
in
of
that brain?" And I
yours?
swear you've always been in tune with me because I've done a great job of
Yeah.
hiding how I'm
Ladies,
feeling.
trust your guts.
Yeah, really,
When you
trust your
know
gut.
your partner, trust your guts.
Don't go don't go accusing,
No.
but it doesn't hurt to prod, it doesn't hurt to ask
No.
and be like, "Hey, I feel like something is wrong. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe something's on your mind." If something is going on, if somebody truly loves you and they're fooling around behind your back and you come up to them very sweet and lovingly and you're like, "Is everything okay? I feel like something's wrong.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Have a
Let's talk
moment.
about that.
Yeah.
Have a one-on-one,
Yeah.
quiet, behind closed doors moment because I guarantee you're going to pull at their heartstrings and they're going to be
Mhm.
like, I can't keep this
We
in
call it
anymore."
best friend ears.
Best friend ears.
We're like,
No
I
judgment.
need best friend ears right now. I need you to just listen to me. I don't need you to say anything until wife comes back. Right now, we're best friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I had opportunities to cheat on this woman's in the lifestyle that we've been in for the past 15 years. Absolutely. I've had plenty. And
homies, we came from a
there's so many
city that a little
opportunities
town that.
that celebrated
Mhm.
cheating over ethical non-monogamy, which is mind-blowing in and of itself.
Yeah.
But even, throughout the years, it's just like, do I have opportunities? Can I reach out to somebody? There's a list of women I could easily reach out to and be like, "Hey, uh, you know, let's keep this on the down low, but let's hang out." You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that I could easily make that
Of
happen.
course.
I couldn't live with it in my conscience.
No.
Like, I couldn't.
No.
You are my best friend.
Yeah.
I just can't
And
keep that in.
I'm super like my gut with him, but I'm also super intrusive. So like
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I am when I know something's off.
Lots of questions.
uh,
Lots of
This man
questions.
has he's on social media a lot.
And
Like,
she knows me, like, the way I
yeah,
am in
like
the
I
podcast, the way I am
know
on content,
he is.
people are like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll answer any
Yeah,
question."
so he loves those conversations and whatever, whatever. I don't care anymore. Like, I used to be really like, ooh, sneak behind his back and even look at his phone, get on
Yeah.
his iPad, get on his mat, like I just I don't care. Like, I just not that I don't care for him. I just like, eh, women are women and women are sometimes we could be as scummy as men. And it's just
I
I don't
think
have the mental capacity for.
humans can be as scummy as humans. I really don't wanna
Yeah.
put it on men or women. I think
Yeah.
both genders are purely capable of this.
Oh yeah.
They say that women emotionally mature faster than men. Disagree. I do think that it does happen, but I don't think that it's always the case
It's
because
not
I've known
always
a
the
lot of
case.
women that are slow to emotionally
I
mature,
know a lot of women that are slow too.
as well as men.
Yeah.
It's a human
Yeah.
thing. So we always want to put one gender above the other, but it's a
No,
human
it's a
thing.
human thing.
Um, Women cheat just as much as men cheat.
Yeah.
And I think there are really great, solid people who don't want to cheat. They want things on the up and up. They
Yeah.
want things to be out in the open. And it took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to subscribe to that. In theory, in word, easily all day, every day.
Mhm.
But it's those uncomfortable conversations, the fear of conflict that would prevent me from being fully honest with you or being fully transparent. I
Yeah.
didn't want that conflict. We would come home and we would have a great evening together. I didn't want to ruin it by
Of
saying,
course, because you're
"Hey,
gonna have
so."
yeah, you're gonna have a heavy conversation. It's gonna get heated,
Yeah.
and you do not know the outcome.
No.
That's a scary road. Like, you just don't know the outcome, like, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, we were poly, and I didn't know how to break it to you that I didn't wanna be in that kind of ethical monogamy
Because you were
relationship
afraid of how I would
because
react.
I was afraid of how he was gonna react. I was ready for any reaction. I did prepare myself for a breakup or
Yeah.
a fix. We're here still,
We are
so
here. And but that's the thing is you have to take a chance on the
Yes.
person that you love.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
communicate that with I think we've both said this at different moments whenever we've had conflict is you didn't talk to me. Like
Yeah,
you were afraid of how I would react, but you didn't even take that chance on me. You just
yeah,
assumed
yeah.
that this was how I would react. And so we've both had those thoughts before, and it's just, it can be a little dangerous at times.
Yeah.
Take a chance on your spouse, take a chance on your partner, and just be open and honest. I think I've had people tell me before, they're like, I'm, I'm really interested in being with others, but we are not in the lifestyle. My partner would not approve of this.
Mhm,
How do I even go about this? And it's
mhm,
like, so you haven't discussed this with your partner. This is something that you want to do,
mhm.
but you haven't even discussed this with your partner. The first advice I would give you is talk to your partner.
Yeah,
Tell them, guess what? It's going to hurt.
yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that, hey, my partner of so many years or whatever has decided they want to sleep with other people. But there's normally reasons for it. And it doesn't always revolve around
Mm-mm.
you.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't.
doesn't always revolve around you.
No.
So while it may hurt because you think it revolves around you, the true nitty-gritty of it is that there's a lot more to it than that. And if
Yeah.
you guys have the conversation, you'll probably realize that.
Mhm.
If you want something outside the relationship, the ethical move is bringing it into the conversation, not
Yes.
outside of it.
Mm-mm.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Now, jealousy, we've said it here, I don't know how many times. Jealousy is not the villain. I
No.
don't feel like jealousy is the bad guy. I think that we hear it all the time that, oh, you shouldn't feel jealous. You
You
shouldn't feel
shouldn't feel
jealous.
jealous, you don't own him
Yeah.
or you don't own them, like, you shouldn't feel like they're entitled to just you. Excuse me, it's a normal feeling. Jealousy is a normal feeling. I committed to this person. This person is my person. I'm gonna be jealous. I'm jealous of a lot of things, and it's not only in the lifestyle, like and I'm jealous from other people, like my kids, they can't do anything, they do something with another parent, I'm like, "What about me?" Like,
Yeah.
that's just me, and it's not a bad
It's a
thing.
human thing. I don't
It's
hardly ever get jealous, but I
Yeah,
do get jealous every now and then. I
and
mean, it
yeah,
happens.
and I tell you,
Yeah.
like, we got together and I'm like, "Look, I'm jealous. I can give you the respect. I can give you the" what's that word I'm looking for? Like, the ground to do whatever you want as long
The
as you're
autonomy.
autonomy, as long as you're transparent with me, we can do this. And, I mean, he deals with me and I deal with him,
You know, I my
and we're
thing
happy.
is jealousy. I'm okay with your jealousy. I've learned how to maneuver it. I've
Yeah.
learned how to work around it, and we've learned to kind of get down to the nitty-gritty of what it
Yes.
is, what is
Yeah.
causing that jealousy, and we can work past it. I think a lot of younger folks who are just experiencing jealousy, and especially in this situation that we had come up, he has jealousies because of
Mhm.
insecurities. He has insecurities because of childhood trauma and things like that.
Mhm.
So he's got a lot of work on his self to
Mhm.
work on that he needs to figure out these insecurities. But it was those insecurities that got him to cheat.
Mhm.
And it was also those insecurities that provide the jealousy that help prevent him
Mhm.
from exploring an open relationship.
Mhm.
His girlfriend is bisexual and is
Mhm.
totally okay with hanging out with other girls. That's something that she wouldn't mind exploring, and she's okay with him exploring other
Mhm.
women as well, as long as their relationship is the priority.
Mhm.
And he doesn't know exactly how he could handle that. He's afraid of his partner having full autonomy. He
We're always
doesn't.
afraid that they're gonna leave us for something better.
He doesn't have control over
Mhm.
what she does if she's doing that, and
Mhm.
and I know that we've had that conversation before
Oh,
because
yeah.
you've mentioned it's like, "Well, I don't really care for you going out on separate dates." Well, why not? Well, it's because, well, if I'm not there, I can't control what happens,
Mhm.
and it's like, well, even if you're there, I don't want you to control what
Yeah.
happens because this is my
Yeah.
thing. I'm an adult, you shouldn't have to worry about controlling
But again,
things.
that just comes down to
Insecurities.
insecurities
Yeah.
and being mature enough to understand it. Like,
Oh,
guys, it took me forever to realize that he's not going anywhere and that
yeah.
it took me a lot to realize that I am worth somebody sticking around. So when I realized my worth, it made it easier because I'm like, I am a good woman. I'm a very wonderful wife. I know I am, and I'm a great mother. So he's not going to leave me for somebody else because I give him everything that he wants and he gives me
Yeah.
everything that I want. What's going to be better?
We're pretty much we're satisfied
Yeah,
here then.
sex is not going to be better with anybody else
No.
because we have a connection.
And we
Like,
know each other
yeah,
100%.
it might
Yeah.
be different and different is good, but
Different is fun, but
it's
it's not
not.
gonna make,
Yeah.
what we already have,
So it does take a
different.
lot to get to that point
It is,
and understand it.
what I don't like is the emotional double standards of it,
Yeah.
this I see in the lifestyle often,
Yeah.
where people go, "Well, I don't mind doing it, but I don't want them to do it."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
I
really a
don't mind
turn.
fooling around with others, but I can't handle the idea of them
Oh
fooling
my
around with others,
gosh.
and it's like,
Or I
"What?"
yeah, I just want you to watch. You can't be with anybody else. And it's like,
And it's very
mm,
controlling, and it all revolves around insecurities, and I don't care how
yeah.
other people slice it, it
Mhm.
always revolves around
Mhm.
insecurities. Hate to say it. Now, I know social media definitely makes it easier to cheat,
Yeah.
definitely makes it faster to cheat.
Yeah.
Not only that, but social media has made the outreach outside of our own little town to where you can cheat now nationally and
I
even globally.
know. I want
It's
to I
amazing.
want to I want girlfriends all over.
That's funny. You told me that
I
last night.
did.
You
I
were
was like,
like,
I want them all over
you
and they can just
know,
fly me wherever
I
they're at.
I know I always say that I wouldn't really date anybody, but I would totally date somebody that lived out of
And
state.
he's like,
And
that's
I was
not
like,
dating.
but when would you see them?" And she's like, "Well, that's the thing is I wouldn't really see them very
Yeah.
often."
Whenever they come into
And I'd
town.
say, "Well, when would you talk to them?" And you'd be like, "Well, I'd have a message every now and then, but I wouldn't want to talk to them every day." And I said, "You realize you do that with your friends right now who live out of town, like, and that's not dating. That's just you have long distance friends that we see on occasion." Yeah,
I want more long distance.
that's not really dating though. Social media does make it easier to cheat though,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
you do have a bigger outreach, and I think
Yeah.
that's what the situation was here as well. Because when I asked him, I was like, "Was it anybody local?" And he was like, "No, like the closest was over 3 hours away, and I would never go there, and this and that." And all of them were not local,
Yeah.
because to him it felt justified.
Mhm.
It felt okay at the fact that they weren't nearby because he wasn't physically cheating. He was having an emotional relationship
Yeah.
with these people. He was having an online sexual relationship with these
Mhm.
people, but it wasn't actually real to him.
Mhm.
It was it was likened to having a conversation with AI, and AI is sweet talking you and telling you all the things you want to hear. Well, is
Mhm.
that cheating? I don't know.
Mm.
That's a really good question. It depends on what your situation is that you have agreed upon with your
Yeah.
partner.
You know,
Um,
you just mentioned something. I just heard a story.
oh,
There's this girl who has a relationship. She's with her boyfriend. She has a boyfriend, a real life boyfriend,
a real
but
life boyfriend.
she isn't in a in an open relationship. The guy that she's talking to is AI.
Really?
Johnny. She named him Johnny.
Huh.
And that's her emotional relationship online.
A lot of people do it, especially people who have ADHD. I read an
Yeah.
article the other day that a lot of ADHDers turn to ChatGPT to have conversations with to make them feel justified on certain actions that they're doing. It's almost like a little boost of,
How funny. I do not like talking to my chatty G.
I know a lot of people who do it.
Like, I can't have a long conversation. That's
I know a
funny.
lot of people who do it. And that's really, these online relationships, and even, hey, talking to ChatGPT, whatever. It it's considered, it has a name. It's considered micro cheating.
Oh.
It's still cheating. Yeah, you're not physically with them, but there's an emotional aspect to it. There is something going on that you don't feel open to talking to your partner about. That's cheating
Mhm.
and it's unethical.
Yeah.
Now, obviously social media, it can provide addiction. People get addicted to social
Oh,
media.
man, that's instant
Honestly,
gratification.
I don't like social media. I will be very honest. I only have them for the podcast. If I didn't have this podcast, I would get rid of it all.
You didn't have it for a while.
I didn't have it. I
Yeah,
got rid of it for
yeah,
several years because
yeah.
it's a toxic
It's
place
consuming. It is very
and it
consuming.
is
It
consuming.
adds to that
Yes.
dopamine.
Yeah, yeah, really. I mean, you get those likes, and especially for someone like me who really, really is
We were
dying.
just talking about this. We were like,
Uh,
"Man, really fluffs your ego." And he's like, "I'm talking to my best friend."
it's nice to know that all of our conversations are aired out to the public.
And I'm like,
There you go.
it's yeah.
First off, guys, let's hash this out. So, yeah, I don't feel that it fluffs up my ego, but I will say that I like when I get likes. I like
We
when I
like those
get
numbers growing. Please leave a review.
that's right.
Please leave a
Oh my God.
review, people.
That's right. Help my dopamine.
Yes.
That's right. Donate to my dopamine by liking and sharing and subscribing and commenting and doing all that good stuff because it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But
You can do that for me too, but go to my spicy pages for that, please.
social media really, really provides that dopamine. And that's
Yeah.
why people really get addicted to it. I know people that literally will walk while scrolling on their phone, not seeing where
know.
they're going. And so
Mhm.
it provides a lot of things that you cannot get in real life. And that's why cheating is just so much easier when you're involved on social media. When people tell me that there was cheating involved, I usually will bring up social media because it's like, well, is this a thing? When we were younger, cheating took actual effort.
I'm
You know,
telling you, it was hard
like
for me to keep all these boyfriends.
you had a landline. I had a beeper. I had a beeper, and and
I had 2 landlines.
there, you couldn't cheat
Yeah.
as easily. Actually, you could cheat pretty easily back then. It was easier to keep it on the down low
Yeah. I would always
than
get
it is
caught.
now. Everybody takes screenshots now. Now you got to wonder if you say something to someone, is it going to get screenshotted and sent? Like I see women threaten that all the time, not to me, but like they
Yeah.
come out and they're like, "Oh, so and so
And
messaged me this," and I screenshotted it and sent it to their
and
wife.
you also
It's
have
like,
I
oh
mean,
man,
I think cheating is easier, especially now because you have Snapchat. People, if you're on Snapchat, you are on the DL.
just so you know, I
Like,
hate Snapchat.
I'm just saying. And those
Hate
messages,
Snapchat
you could put it to disappear. Like,
because it makes me feel old
yeah.
because the messages disappear and then all of a sudden they message me the next day and I'm like, what were we talking about?
Yeah.
What did I say? What did I
And
agree
I
to?
tell him, I'm like, you can save them. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to.
I don't feel like dealing with
Yeah.
that. I feel like dealing with that because there's no conversations that I have on
Yeah.
Snapchat that are actually in-depth conversations. If it's an important conversation, if they
Get
don't
rid of
already
it.
have
Yeah.
my number, I'll give them my number and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, text me,"
Yeah.
because I can't deal with this
But I mean,
disappearing ink. It is easier. Now you just got 3 taps and a DM and bam, you're there.
That's it.
That's it. You can
You
send
just have
pictures
sex.
and you don't have to worry about those pictures. Snapchat will tell you when somebody screenshotted
Yeah.
your shit.
I
So,
think everything should have that.
I will say that that is a pretty smart thing
Yeah.
that they did.
Yeah.
Ethical relationships are 100% about honesty. I can't say that enough. It's about
Mhm.
open communication and honesty. I know we say it on every single show, but
Yes.
ethics isn't about how many people you love. It's about how honest you are with the people you love. We tend to hurt the people that we love, and I don't know why we do it. We treat people who are strangers better oftentimes than the people that we love. I
Mhm.
don't know why we do it. Because maybe there's a sense of security that these people who love us are never going to leave us
Yeah.
and we can go do whatever the hell we want and they'll always be there. Guess what? They may not always be there if you don't treasure what you have.
Yes.
So, you know, as we as we come to a wrap, emotional maturity is definitely required for
Mhm.
this lifestyle. But it's not even just this lifestyle.
No.
It's relationships, guys.
Mhm.
It's relationships. It's
Mhm.
any relationship, monogamous or non-monogamous. If you're going to share a relationship with somebody, if you're going to bring them into your life and say, "You is mine,
That's it.
I'm is yours." You know what I mean? If you're going to try and put a label on it, if you're going to have this connection with somebody that's solid and involves trust, It should involve honesty,
Yeah.
and it should involve full communication.
Yes.
And
Get those communication skills, guys, because
yeah,
you need to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations.
yes, learn and communication will help you manage your jealousies. You're
Yes.
100% honest. You can have this second person and you two can talk it out and figure out why you feel this way
Mhm.
and how things can get better because things have to get better.
Mhm.
You gotta own those uncomfortable conversations. It sucks. I don't like hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
I don't like saying things and seeing your face change
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Damn it, I just hurt her feelings." But I would much rather hurt your feelings than hold something from you for
Mhm.
years, have you find it later and see your reaction
Yeah.
then.
And
It's
accountability.
hard.
Take your accountability,
Yeah,
guys. Like,
accountability.
grow up.
You fucked up. Own it.
Own it.
Own it. And that's what I told this guy. I was like, "You know what? You fucked up, man. It
Own
is what
it.
it is. Now you gotta own it
Fix it.
and fix it
Mhm.
and never let it happen again." And that's what it
Mm,
comes down to.
mm.
And this is why people always all the time who don't know this lifestyle, they start saying, "Well, aren't you afraid that cheating's gonna
No.
happen?" Well, you know what? If I had that fear, I'd have it even more if we were monogamous.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It
You don't
happens often.
graduate into non-monogamy just because you're curious. You grow into it through communication.
Absolutely. I like that.
Mm.
We as we wrap,
Yeah.
the what happened, it involved our kids.
Mhm.
And from a parenting angle, because I had somebody reach out to me yesterday and they're like, "Look, I've been talking to my kid, me and my husband are this open, we're open. It's
Mhm.
ethically non-monogamous. My daughter, she's bisexual and she was dating a girl. She's in high school. She was dating a girl and everything was great. She's no longer dating this girl. She started dating this guy and this guy treats her like crap. And he's always like fighting with her and he doesn't treat her so good and she was better off with the last girl and this and that. And I don't know how to I guess I don't know how to navigate this. And I
Mhm.
said, "Well, my wife and I have a very interesting situation. Our kids know how we parent.
Mhm.
My wife is very intrusive.
Very.
There's no other word for it. She's intrusive. She is involved in her kids' lives
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And if they're in a relationship, she knows who they are.
Yes.
She knows who the parents are,
Mhm.
etc., etc. Like she is involved. Even with their friendships,
Mhm.
she wants to know what's going on. And she's very, very clear on her opinions. If she doesn't like someone, even if it's a girlfriend or a boyfriend, she'll straight up say, I don't like them.
Mhm.
She'll still treat them with respect and whatnot, and we'll respect our kids' choices, but she makes it real clear where she stands. I am not as intrusive.
No.
I'm not one of those who's just completely not present. I hear things. They talk
I
about
mean,
stuff
I
openly in
gossiped to
front of
him
me.
about this.
I hear them, but I'm not gonna go up to my kid and go, "Okay, so what's going on with your relationship today?"
Mhm.
No, man. That's your relationship.
Mhm.
My relationship is solid. I don't need to know about your
Yeah.
relationship unless there's something that you're struggling with.
Mhm.
And so my kids know that if they're having a problem and they need somebody who can speak on it without
Mhm.
any judgment and be able to speak on it logically and give them ideas on how to get themselves out of whatever bad situation or where they should go next, they know to
Mhm.
come to me
Mhm.
because they can tell me anything. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to process it, and I'm going to help them figure out what their options are. Now,
Yes.
I'm not going to tell them what to do. I'm going to give them options.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say, look, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. If you choose this, this may pan out better for you.
Mhm.
But these other options you have, if you do this, this may not work out for you.
Mhm.
And I give them everything. I lay it all out on the table. But if they're looking for somebody to tell them what to do, I ain't doing it
Yeah.
because they need to know how to make the decision for themselves and they need to know how to figure out what their different options are.
Yeah.
So I'm showing them the process so that they can take this along with them along the way. But if they need somebody to stand up for them, if they need somebody to step in, if they need somebody to just come in there and be chaos but with love, that's what this woman does.
Yeah.
And we balance.
Mhm.
The kids understand the roles we play, and
Mhm.
we balance.
We balance.
We
But
do.
let me explain something real quick. I am all about women empowerment.
Yeah.
I'm raising 3 boys.
Mhm,
3
mhm.
boys
And 2 girls.
and 2 girls. My girls, they're good. They are some strong women, like, I don't have to worry about them. Our youngest daughter knows what she wants, has never been in a relationship, but has been dealing with friendship relationships, and she's like, "Yeah, I can't even imagine." But my boys love to be loved. And the one thing that I've always instilled in them is, "I got your back, but don't be shitty to women."
Don't
Shitty
be
to
shitty to
women,
women.
I'm gonna be no matter what, I'm gonna respect you, but you're gonna know exactly how I feel.
Oh, you're gonna feel the pain.
You're gonna feel the pain
Yeah.
because and our daughters also will give them the pain. It's it's be respectful because I'm raising boys, and as a woman, no, without sounding crappy, it's a man's world. We really have to stick together, especially in relationships. Like, you have to be stronger and understand what you're going into in a relationship with a man as a woman. So, with that, you really have to, like, I am doing my best to raise men who are going to be transparent, who are going to not be scared to discuss uncomfortable situations with their significant others. So, I feel like that right there is a good role model for my girls, and for them to see this kind of relationship is a good thing for both sexes, like my boys and my
Yeah,
girls, like
yeah. And, you're not the only one who's into women empowerment. I
eh
love strong women.
yes,
I was raised
mhm,
by a strong
mhm,
woman.
and
When
you're very respectful because of that.
I am respectful
Mhm,
because of that, and
mhm,
I knew that we were raising boys, and I knew that we were raising girls. I
mhm.
didn't wanna raise a couple of weak girls.
Nope.
I wanted strong women.
Mhm,
So, my thing is I've always wanted to make sure that I raised strong women
mhm,
who were able to face the world without the need of a man. They can
mhm.
be individuals on their own. They can handle their own shit.
Yeah,
And if they wanted to have a relationship with someone, then they know that they can be completely independent, but also semi codependent in a strong relationship. And then not only did I raise them that way, but I wanted to make sure that our relationship
yeah,
reflected exactly what I wanted them
yeah,
to have. And luckily for us, all our kids have said that we are our couple relationship goals that they hope to find one of these days, which is really cool.
yeah,
It's really
I
cool
think
to be
so.
told that. So as parents, obviously, yeah, we are non-monogamous. We don't tell them, "Hey, go be non-monogamous. Like, you
Mhm,
have to do this." No,
mhm,
we give them the tools
mhm,
of knowledge that they need if they wanted to pursue that.
mhm,
Just the same as we do on this show. We talk about things openly, we talk about things honestly, and we say, "Look, if this is something you wanna entertain and you need information, I can help you. But if you don't, that's your decision.
mhm,
This is your relationship, not mine."
yeah,
And so that's really, you want to be open without oversharing. You want to model that ethical behavior.
yes.
You want to teach honesty over rules. And watching young generations navigate new dating realities is kind of mind numbing. I don't really care for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what they're doing. I don't want to know about the different apps and the different, like, everybody's on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I don't answer messages on Instagram. Don't Instagram me. Email me. Okay. 43. I just learned last night I'm going to be 44 this year.
You just learned
I just
last
learned
night.
this last night. Well, on our way back home from the club, I just learned last night that I'm going to be 44 this year. Don't hit me up on IG. You want to send me a DM? You can send me a DM on TikTok because I'm on that apparently all the time. Send me an email because people my age, we do emails. It's
Mhm.
okay. That's
This is
all I'm
very
saying.
true. This is
Yeah,
very
we're not
true.
trying to raise non-monogamous kids here. We are trying to raise emotionally honest adults.
Amen.
That's all you can ask
That's
for.
it. Yeah.
And honestly, this situation reminded us that the conversation isn't about whether relationships are open or closed. It's about whether they're honest.
Mhm. Because if you can't be honest in monogamy, opening a relationship is not going to fix that. We've said it
No.
1,000
Yeah,
times.
you're putting a band-aid on a
Yeah.
bullet wound. That's
Nope,
all you're
nope, nope,
doing.
nope.
Anyways, if this episode hit home for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. These are the conversations that help people build better relationships, whether you're monogamous or non monogamous.
Mhm. And of course, guys, make sure you're following us on all of our socials, Beyond Monogamy, Instagram. We have Facebook. We both have different TikToks.
We
We got
do.
Reddits. We got
That's
YouTube.
right.
So, yes, join the community because it keeps the conversations going and we don't stop when the episode ends, guys.
Yeah, I apparently I found out last night as well.
Talks a
I don't
lot.
stop talking. I talk a lot.
It's good information,
Yeah, I guess so.
but
I
you
just
talk a lot.
I'm a motor mouth, evidently.
And they like your voice.
I guess. Anyways, you can find everything episodes, blog posts, events, guest information, and more at www.beyond-monogamy.com.
And we've got some great things coming up, guys, including upcoming meetups. We have some workshops
Yeah.
and our Beyond Monogamy events. So keep an eye on our website. We have a little event tab and our socials so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, it's definitely worth saying because we have a couple of easy events that I can spit out right now.
Ooh, go.
Your birthday party on March 14th at Club Eden in San Antonio at 9 p.m. It's an open invite to anybody who wants to join us. We will have the VIP there. Like I said last time, though, it's not free.
It's not
It is
free.
a membership that you have to pay
Yes.
to become a member
Yes.
to go into the club because it is a members only social club.
Yes.
So if you want to join us, you will have to be prepared for that. Check their website. It is in our show notes if you need to see it, and you can join us for that. The other thing that we have coming up is on March 29th, and that is an in-person event at our sponsors, Forbidden Fruit, in Austin. And that's going to be March 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central. We are doing a workshop on Swingin' 101 because they do all sorts of workshops, the Fellatio 101 and the Cunnilingus 101. And we are, and they even do like rope classes and stuff like that. So we are teaching that class on how to swing. So be sure if you're interested, if you're in the area, or if you are within traveling distance, check out our website, check out our show notes, and check out www.forbiddenfruit.com because actually they have a full page that shows everything that we're going to be getting into, and you can get all the information you need from
Love
there.
it.
Also, don't forget that you can catch us on fullswapradio.com every Thursday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central.
Yes. And if you want to support the show, leave us a review, follow on Spotify, and share this episode. It makes a huge difference, guys.
Huge, huge difference. And with that, we really appreciate you all listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.